it's Kayla, and today I am very excited about this video because I have a very special guest. This video is a collaboration with Casey from the channel How Casey Sees It. Casey is a fellow legally blind YouTuber, and I have been watching her channel since before I even started mine, and I'm a big fan, and she actually was one of the inspirations for me starting my own channel, so I'm just so excited that we are getting together to do this collaboration. So in this video, Casey and I are going to be talking about activities that we enjoy or have done that may surprise people since both of us are legally blind and have been for our whole life. A lot of people kind of have this misconception that blind people can't do anything and all we do is sit at home and listen to audiobooks and run into walls, but the reality is that we can do and we do a lot of things. And it may be that you have to adapt an activity to do it a little differently to accommodate your vision impairment, or maybe you're not the best at the activity, or maybe, you can't enjoy the visual aspects of it, but you can still enjoy the rest of the experience. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first activity that I'm going to talk about that I enjoy that might surprise people is dance. I love dance and it's always been a very big part of my life, and some people probably think that someone who is blind or visually impaired wouldn't dance or couldn't follow along with choreography, but that is incorrect. When I was younger, I took dance classes, did the dance recital, the whole thing. I took hip hop, jazz, ballet, tap, acrobatics, lyrical, every class they had, I signed up for it. And I was able to learn the choreography because a lot of dance moves are they're big, and I was able to see big movements. And my instructors also used verbal description to describe what the choreography was. And if I still wasn't getting it from seeing or hearing the verbal description, they would come over and physically move my body for me to show me what the choreography was. So this is an activity that can definitely be adapted for someone who is blind or visually impaired. And I just love it. I love how it feels to dance. I love how it feels to move my body with the music. And I even went on in college to choreograph and teach and really put together an entire dance performance on more than one occasion with my sorority, which was really fun.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to finally be collaborating with Kayla and to be on her channel. As I'm sure she explained in her video today, we are going to talk about hobbies or activities that we have done that a lot of people might not expect visually impaired people to enjoy or blind people to enjoy. So my first thing that I have done that a lot of people wouldn't expect someone with low vision to enjoy is I have been ziplining. And to me, this doesn't seem like a super visual thing, but I do think a lot of fully sighted people like to zipline to maybe see the views around them or to be up high enough to see far away. For me, I just liked the adrenaline rush of, and I'm really not an adrenaline junkie normally, but I just liked the feeling of you were flying. I didn't have to see anything to enjoy it.
The next thing I enjoy that might surprise people is going to concerts. I love music, and I especially love live music. So I love going to a concert to hear that music live, and concerts are pretty visual activities, especially depending on who you see. Some artists put on a lot more of a spectacle than others. So depending on where I'm seated, if I'm really close, and depending on the light and the contrast and a lot of factors, I can maybe see a tiny bit, which is always awesome. Or sometimes I go to concerts and I can't see anything at all. But I still love it. I just love being there, hearing the music, and just really the energy and the atmosphere of being at a concert and just knowing I'm in the same room as that artist. It's just an experience that I really enjoy and something that I do pretty often.
Another thing I really enjoy is going to the zoo. There are a lot of things like this, like the zoo and museums and other things like that I can't necessarily see anything at all. I can't see the animals at the zoo, which can be a little sad and a little hard to navigate sometimes, but I really love the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere of the zoo. You can still learn about the animals even if you can't see them. You can still eat the good food. My zoo in Memphis is a really, really good zoo. So they have other activities and things to offer besides just looking at the animals. There are just so many different cool things to do. And with museums, there's so much you can learn, especially if you get like an audio guided tour, and you don't have to be able to see everything, especially if you do a touch tour. That's also fun.
The next thing on my list is that I really enjoy traveling. If you are a viewer of my channel, you know my favorite place to go is Disney. I love going to the Disney parks, even though they're very visual and I can't see like 95% of all of the great things there are there to see, but I still love the experience. I love just being there, the atmosphere, the rides, the music, the sounds, the characters, the snacks. There's so much there to enjoy, and I just love going there. I also enjoy traveling to other places, believe it or not. So probably like a year ago, my husband and I went to Italy and we visited a few different cities there. A couple years ago, we went to Maui for our honeymoon. And I mean, I've been a lot of places. I've traveled quite a bit, and I just love being somewhere new and exploring and just experiencing everything that's there. Even though I can't really see very much of what's there, I still love it, and not being able to see where I'm at will never stop me from wanting to travel and to go to new places.
Another thing I love rock climbing. Not actual rocks. I don't climb actual mountains at all. I'm not very athletic. But I love indoor rock climbing, and that is something, I can kind of see the rocks. I do mainly use my hands to feel. I think if you're able to feel the rocks, you can pretty much do it, and it's not a problem.
The next thing on my list that I enjoy that might surprise people is something that I don't do often, maybe just once a year, and that is ice skating. I like to go ice skating usually in December, and it's kind of like a Christmassy, cozy kind of date. My husband and I go together, and so I usually hold his hand so he can guide me around so that I don't run into people, and that works pretty well. Am I a terrific ice skater? No, I am not. But do I still have fun? Yes, I do. And have I fallen? Yes, I have. But it wasn't even blindness related. I accidentally kind of like stubbed my skate blade into the ice and fell. It was fine though. And I really think this is a pretty low vision friendly activity because there is great contrast between the bright white ice and the people on it. So when I was younger and I had a little bit better vision, I was able to skate around by myself, not being guided by someone because the people on the ice really stood out, so I was pretty confident that I wasn't going to run into them. But also holding hands with someone, holding on to someone so they can guide you, works perfectly fine too.
Another thing I love is going to theater. I'm a huge theater nerd. I've been performing most of my life, and I can't see the plays very well. I really can't. Even on the front row, I can't really see what's going on or facial expressions. But if I know the story, I try to get familiar with the story before I go and listen to the music if it's a musical. And I can follow along by hearing it, and I can see the beautiful colors, and I just still really, really love the experience of live performances, hearing people's beautiful singing voices live. I feel like a lot of people think, oh, blind people can't enjoy watching theater or watching TV. I love those mediums, and it is hard sometimes to follow the story, but I still really, really enjoy these things.
This next activity is something that I've only done once, but I still thought it was worth mentioning, and that is that I have been snorkeling and I have been on a submarine. So these two activities are obviously very visual. I really couldn't see anything at all. Whatever marine life there was to look at, I couldn't see it at all. But I still really enjoyed the experience. I thought it was really cool to go snorkeling and just be like swimming out in the middle of the ocean was really awesome. And then going on a submarine was just a really cool experience to do that and to say that I've been on a submarine. So even though I really couldn't experience like the purpose of these activities, which is to be able to see that marine life, they were still both really cool experiences.
Another thing I've done, like I said, I'm not athletic, but I've been skiing before, and I actually really enjoyed skiing. It was a little scary. I was scared to run into people or have people run into me. I've seen some blind people wear like a vest that says blind skier, which I think is a really good idea to let people know. I didn't have that. I went with a church group, and so, I mean, I was just with my group most of the time, but it was a really fun experience. I was really surprised at how much I loved it.
Okay, and lastly, some activities that I have done that might surprise people is that I have been ziplining, whitewater rafting, rock climbing, quite a few of those kind of like outdoorsy activities. Now, these aren't things that I particularly enjoy. I'm just not a very like outdoorsy adventure kind of person, but my mom and my sister are, so I've done these activities with them. But they were still fun experiences. I enjoyed them. I probably wouldn't do them again, but it's worth mentioning that, you know, if you're blind or visually impaired, that you can do those things. Now, I will advise that if you do these types of activities, that you tell the instructor, make sure the people that you're going with know of your vision limitations, just in case anything needs to be adapted or so they can look out for your safety. I don't want anyone being like, well, Kayla told me I could go ziplining, and then you like fall off the platform. So I'm telling you now, make sure people are aware and are looking out for you, and that you're really considering how to stay safe doing those types of activities.
Another thing I find fun is painting and art. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a very good artist. I'm a good performance artist, but I'm not good at like visual arts, and not necessarily because of my visual impairment. I'm just not that gifted at it, but I really enjoy it. As a kid, I always really liked coloring and doodling and drawing, and you know, I think that's also surprising to people to learn that I would like something like that. So those are just some hobbies or activities I have done that really might surprise people to know that a blind person can do these things and can enjoy these things. So thank you again, Kayla, for having me on your channel. I'm so glad that we are doing this collab together.
Alright, so that's about it for this video and activities that we have done or that we enjoy that might surprise people, seeing that we are both legally blind. Let me know down in the comments below if you were surprised by any of these, and also let me know down in the comments if you are blind or visually impaired and what kind of activities you enjoy or things that you've done that also might surprise people. And again, thank you so much to Casey for doing this collaboration, and make sure you check out the video that we did together over on Casey's channel where we talked about how we enjoy the world with our other senses since we can't see. I will have that video linked, and also make sure you check out Casey's channel. It's really great. I will have her channel linked as well. And I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you next time.